Near mint condition, the home of collected editions.
That cover's so awesome.
Absolute format is the best way to own this store. Time to empty those wallets and fill those shelves. How's it going, all you minties? Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, the home of collected editions. And join me today for my overview of the Humanoids Library of 2023. That's right, we're going to be looking at each and every one of the books that Humanoids put out in 2023. But not only that, a chance for one of you all, that's right, one of you lucky viewers, to win all of these books from Humanoids. So, let's go ahead and get started. And welcome back, everybody. So today we are going to be looking at each and every one of the Humanoids books that came out this particular year, so 2023. And we've had a lot of good stories that came out this year. A lot of stories I personally have been waiting on years for them to come out, and a lot of reprints of long gone stories. And before I get started, I do want to thank the wonderful folks at Humanoids for teaming up with us this year to do a big holiday haul giveaway. So, as long as you live in America, one of you viewers will be able to win this entire lot of books. Plus another one that I didn't have with me for some reason. I just never got around to getting it. I will leave the instructions towards the end of the video, but first I want to do a quick overview of these wonderful books that came out. But before I go any further, please don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet, and ring that bell for notifications to let you know when our videos are going live. Alright everybody, let's go ahead and start this quick overview. We'll start with some of these soft covers that came out, but we've got a lot of hard covers to look at too. We're kicking it off with the Black Cat Social Club, a pop-punk apocalypse by Christopher Painter, Bob Quinn, Meg Casey, just to name a few of the creators. And this one is a softcover for $17.99, and it does have French flaps. And what this basically is, it is about a group of ladies that are in a band. So these are rock witches. There's Alice, Hazel, and Maggie, who can cast spells with their songs, and they end up battling like corporate demons. But they're not really successful at what they do, so what ends up happening is one of these ladies ends up selling her soul to a demon for more magical powers. And, well, it is called a pop-punk apocalypse for a reason. So you can find out exactly what that means by checking this one out. We're going to go through this pretty quick with all these books, because we have a lot of books to look at. This one is 128 pages, and like I said, retails for $17.99, and it is a softcover. This is what the wonderful poppy artwork looks like. Next up is the latest in the Carnego series, and this one is Carnego Kane. And this is by Christopher Beck and Ennio Buffi. And I've read the first, I think there were a series, they came out in a series of hardcovers here in America from Humanoids. They were putting like 3 or 4 of these soft covers into one. This is a soft cover. And I think the series as of now is completed. This one's got 57 pages and retails for $19.99. But the series all takes place in this world where the Megalodon, the big prehistoric shark, has come out of the water because humanity has started drilling underwater, trying to get more and more resources, and they end up waking up this creature. So that's what this series has been about, and it's got some beautiful artwork throughout the entire series. And like I said, this is the latest in the series, and this is a soft cover, and 57 pages is what we got in this one. This one does have some violence in it, so some of these books you'll see are for all ages, and some of them do have some mature themes, so I'll try to let you know which ones do, just in case, especially when we're doing a giveaway. So I may, towards the end, set up the rule about maybe, have an adult actually enter, let them know, you know what, no, I'm playing it safe. Just be of the age of 18 plus. Even though some of us don't mature until after the age of 18, or still haven't. Alright, let's keep going. Next up is a couple of books called Pixies of the 60s, You Really Got Me Now, and We Can Work It Out. It is by Guihiv and Jewel Marot and Julie Macaoni, And over here we have Alice Geslin and Harry Bozino. Just to name a few of the creators. These are both softcover. This is the first volume right here. You really got me now. And let's take a look at the artwork. What this one is about is it takes place in an alternate 1960s UK, where pixies have revealed themselves, or fairies have revealed themselves to the world. So now fairies are trying to integrate into society. So let's look at quick look at volume 2 over here. So the artwork varies. Some of it looks like it gets a little bit darker in volume 2. I was only able to read the first volume, but it is a continuing series. Well, no, it does seem like it has the same kind of tone. Each one of these retails for $22.99, and both have just right over 112 pages. And that is Pixies of the 60s, volumes 1 and 2, taking place in the 1960s UK. Next up is The Cat from Kimono. This is another one that is a soft cover. This one retails for $19.99, and it does have French flaps. This was a really interesting story. I read it quickly because it lured me in with the description. And the description, this is by Nancy Pena, by the way, but obviously inspired by Japanese paintings. It's beautiful. It's mainly done in black and white, but there is color throughout it. It was described as an imaginative adult fairy tale. And what this really is about, it's about this young lady who has this beautiful silk kimono, and she rejects the advances of this man because she's just infatuated with her cat, this black cat. Like, she loved these black cats. So they end up getting separated. And what this is the journey of this black cat trying to find his owner, this lady that he feels a connection to, going anywhere from Japan all the way to London, meeting people like Sherlock Holmes throughout here. And it is really surreal. You'll see artwork like that, but it is very captivating. It was a pretty quick read, too. It's beautifully drawn. I'm not really familiar with Nancy Pena's artwork, but if this is a taste of what her style is like, then I definitely want to keep reading her stuff. This one has 104 pages, and it is printed in this thick matte paper. So this is what the art looks like. And the dimensions of this is just a little bit different than the dimensions of that of a standard trade paperback. It's a little bit longer. So next up is the parts 2, or I guess the second and third book in the world of the incal. Now, this isn't written by Jodo, and of course not drawn by Mobius, but because, well, Mobius has passed. And Jodo has just given his blessing. I've done a deep overview of this one here, The Dying Star, which is so excellent. If you've not read it, it is so good. Both of them are in hardcover, so we're moving on to the hardcovers. We have a lot. And both of these books retail for $24.99 with art on board. I was really excited about this one here because the first book, what was it, Psychoverse and The Dying Star, have ties to the incal. But this one here actually features a character that was in the incal. Now, the incal, of course, has mature themes, and both the Dying Star and Psychoverse have a little bit, not as much as the original one, because again, these aren't written by Jodo. He just kind of gave it his blessings, realizing how old he is, and oh my gosh, that is insane. I can't wait. I can't flip the pages too much through here because I'm excited to read this one. They are done by different creators. This one's Brandon Thomas and Pete Woods. Pete Woods has drawn stuff for Marvel and DC. My favorite thing he probably did is the era of Superman for DC Comics. But oh my gosh, this looks amazing. And I really like the character of Wolfhead, so I'm curious where this goes. Both of these have about 120 plus pages, retailing for $24.99. Next up is the Legends of the Pierced Veil. And we have 3 of these. We have the Scarlet Blades, Izuna, and the Mask of Fudo. These were done by Saverio Tenuta. Let me just give you a quick glimpse at these beautiful books. I've done an overview of volumes 1 and 2. They are all hardcover, printed in this thick, glossy paper. And it's all set in the world of the Azunas, these big wolf creatures. It's all about the story of light versus dark, and has a lot of folklore inspiration from Japan, but making it his own. It's just absolutely stunning. These are a little hard to talk about because sadly, Saverio Tenuta passed away. Like, it was so just awful. Like, I did my overview of both Izuna and the Scarlet Blades, and somebody in my comments left that he had just passed away a day before I had done that video. And I was a big fan of his art. Like, these have been previously released by Humanoids in different formats. They've done slipcases, big, beautiful editions of these. And I was always captivated by his wonderful artwork and just use of panels. And I know this is a quick overview, but I feel like I had to take the time to just honor Tenuta's art and his story. It's just wonderful and so surreal. Definitely has that European flair to it, but obviously inspiration from the Japanese folklore. Can't flip too much through here because there are some big spoilery moments towards the end. Because, like I said, these are all set in this particular world, just at different times. Each one of these retails for $29.99. They are beautiful color books, and then in the back you do get some extras, not very much, but you do get like some original artwork, some concept art. Each one has over 200 pages, and all three of these are now available. And all three of these came out this year, but that does complete the Legends of the Pierced Veil. In case you were wanting to ever check it out, all three came out this year. So I'm glad that Humanoids put it back to print in these beautiful formats. Next up, Humanoids actually released two of these this year. The Jodorowsky Library, books 5 and 6 were released this year. And yes, these definitely have mature content. These retail for $39.99, and they have over 300 pages for each one of these. Book number 5 had the White Llama and the Magical Twin story. This one here, I've done an overview of this one. This actually has the Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart, and then Twisted Tales. And Mad Woman definitely has a lot of sexual content, so I'm going to skip a little bit of that to kind of show you some of the other artwork that is collected in here, some of the short stories. These are really cool. These are like almost fables type of stories. But Francois Bock is the main artist on these, and then of course in these, let me see if I can... The Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart, this is all done by Mobius. And it is really cool. One thing I'll show you really quick is the different art styles, because this took years to make. You have a older style to Mobius that towards the beginning than you do towards the end of the run of Mad Woman of the Sacred Heart. But these are beautiful books. They come with ribbons and art on board. There's Jodo in the back. I don't have the 5th one to show you, but it is part of this holiday huge giveaway that Humanoids is doing. The Humanoids holiday huge giveaway, something like that. I was trying to think of something else. Haul, but then it's not really a haul. All right, let's keep going. Gurvan, A Dream of Earth. Oh, I really like this one. This one had a little bit of a twist and towards the middle of the book. It's got another twist towards the end. But this is about a bunch of pilots. This one also has mature themes, mainly due to sexual content and also some violence. 120 pages, and this one retails for $19 or $24.99. But this is all done by P.J. Herald and Matthew Mariole and Livia Pastore. So what this is we are no longer on Earth, and mankind is taken up to the stars, and there's this huge war happening between two different sets of people that are just out there fighting. We don't know the cause yet. And there's different rules for some of these fighters that have volunteered, or rather voluntold, to be in this fight, space program. And it goes in ways that I didn't expect it to go. And I think this is an adaptation of the science fiction writer P.J. Herald's Gurvan book. And it just came out in English for the first time with beautiful artwork. 120 pages, $24.99. In the back, you do have some character designs. So yeah, some of these books do have extras in the back. I'm trying to point out the ones that do. But yeah, I really enjoyed this one. And here we have the Seac Manhunt on Solar Corona. This is by Jerry Frizen and J.M. Ponzio. And this is another one of those books from the Incal universe. However, the dimensions on this one are a little bit different. Let me just show you. book just seems a little bit longer than your standard trade paperback or standard size hardcover. So this is all set in the world of the incal, and the actual name of the book, the Seac, they're the villains of the, or the, I guess, greatest enemies, because every story has a side, of the Meta Barons. That's who these characters are. And in here, there's a couple of police officers we're following around, and it's a kind of like detective story, whodunit type of story, but also involves characters that you may have seen or races that you may have seen in the world of the Incal or Meta Barons. So I love just how big the Incal is getting. Right now, we're having stories from the Incal, and that's really cool, from the Incal universe. Not just main characters or all the good guys technically, but also getting the side stories, or the other side of the stories of some of these enemies from our heroes that we've seen throughout the years. So this one does have some mature themes, mainly due to the violence in this particular story. Let's look in the back here for some of the extras. Looking at the settings for the book, and printed on this thick glossy paper. And the book retails for $27.99, and it has 120 pages. And now we're looking at the Meta Baron, book 4. This is another one that's a hardcover, and this is the Bastard and the Proto Guardianess. Let me kind of give you an idea of what it looks like. Actually, let me pull. So this is like the size of a standard trade paperback. These are big books. I've done an overview of the weapons of the Meta Barons earlier this year. It's a beautiful book, and this is about the dimensions of this book, if you want to go and check out that in-depth overview. And we're going to take a quick look at this one. This one is by Alejandro Jodorowsky, Jodo, Jerry Frizen, and Pete Woods, which of course they went on to do the Kill Wolf Head. Well, Pete Woods did anyway. And then Jerry Frizen did the Cymax story. This is a beautiful book. If you've never read the Meta Barons, they all have this same kind of feel, this just fantasy slash science fiction type of story. Beautiful artwork. Again, mature themes in this one, but mainly due to the violence. So this one talks about the whole destiny, the legacy of the Meta Baron, how it's an honor to be bested by their sons in Mortal Kombat. So it goes into the whole idea of legacy for the Meta Barons, which we've seen a little bit of in the main books, in the original Meta Barons books. So this is the story of No Name, and how he has this fear of his son Adal, who is not honorable. And that's what main characters that you focus on here. So it's a father and son story, and familiar characters that we've seen, of course, in the past, because this is all taking place during the Meta Baron storyline. And just beautiful oversized artwork in this one. This is the one that came out in 2023, and get a ribbon in this one, and just showing off some more of this beautiful Pete Woods artwork. It is amazing to see where some of these artists that I'm familiar with in America, like Travis Charest here, went after their careers. Like Travis Charest was a guy that drew, I loved his artwork. He was a big Jim Lee inspired guy, or what we used to call Jim Lee clones back in the day. But he went over to do a lot of European books, and he's just such a talented guy. Oh, I forgot to mention that the Meta Baron book itself, this is a hardcover, no dust jacket. This book right here retails for $29.99, and the art is on board, and it has 112 pages. This one here, which I've done an overview of already, the Weapons of the Meta Barons, but just to kind of showcase the artwork again by Travis Charest. Later on, Zoran Janjatov does the artwork, but all written by Alejandro Jodorowsky, and just, wow. Just take that in. My gosh. This one is $29.99. It's a huge book, just like the Meta Baron book 4, and it has 80 pages. Now, Travis Charest didn't get to finish this story, but we do have Zoran that finishes the story for him. And then all the way in the back, we do have some concept art and designs for just the different creatures through here. And even if you've never read this stuff, the art alone, I mean, oh my gosh, let me just show you the clothing and the texture. It's just insane in this one shot. I don't know. I'm always blown away by the use of shadows and just how real it makes it look. Just amazing. I love it. I think I point it every time that I talk about this book. It's because it has been printed in different formats, like slip cases and standard size hardcover. But that is the Weapons of the Meta Baron. Next up is Project Arca, Into the Dark Unknown. This is another one that I've done an overview on the channel before. This is another hardcover. It's the same dimensions as the Weapons of the Meta Baron, and it is by Romain Benazaya and Joan Urgel. This one does have some mature themes in here. Uh, I really like this book too. It was really difficult to give one book the seal of approval whenever I'm going through these. But this is about in the distant future, Earth is dying, so they have to go and find another planet, somewhere else to colonize. So we have the Arcas, which are big colony ships that are going up into space to try to find these destinations. And one of the arcs gets sabotaged, so the other arc is waking up and trying to figure out exactly what happened to the sister arc. And it's a very interesting story. It does involve some alien creatures. Let's look at the extras in the back. And printed in this thick, glossy paper. No ribbon in this one though. Yeah, but the book retails for $24.99 and it has 120 pages. And at this moment, I just want to remind you to smash that like button. I haven't done that yet. What the heck's wrong with me? Sap Hunters by Laurent Jeanforth and Alexandre Risto-Kelly. This is such a interesting concept. It has a lot of that sci-fi and fantasy that I enjoy about these European books. And not every one of these, of course, are translated from the French or the Spanish, but some of these Humanoids books were originally published here in America. So this is all set in this world where the world tree, this huge gigantic tree, is given life. Like the tree itself gives life through sap and just sheltering, but something has infected the world tree. So we meet Pierrig, who is the chasm strider who can get out the sap and then give it to his people. However, because the tree has been infected, the sap has been infected. So he can't even have time to warn his clan before something horrible ends up happening. And he ends up getting captured by the title characters, the Sap Hunters, who are these warriors that are taking him with them to go and see where the source of the corruption is starting. And like I said, this one here has just such a unique setting that I fell in love with it. I read it just about a week ago, and it's such an interesting read. My wife and I traveled to go see her mom, so my mother-in-law, who lives about 3 hours from here, so I had enough time to read a bunch of these. And this one was quite excellent. I can definitely see this one being made into a movie. The book retails for $24.99, printed in this thick, glossy paper. All the way in the back, we do have a sketchbook and concept art. And it has 120 pages, and that is the Sap Hunters. The Shadows of THU, it's another hardcover with art on board. The actual art has got this glossy finish to it, whereas the background is just this flat finish to it. Printed in this thick, glossy paper. And this is one that's like historical fiction. So it all takes place in Scotland in the 2nd century AD, and it's all about the Pictish people. I love learning about new things, even though I know I said it's historical fiction. But this is all taking place during the Roman conquest. And when one of the Roman generals gets manipulated by a necromancer, they end up awakening this evil from the north. So now it's up to these enemies to kind of join forces to stop these demonic creatures from taking over the world. And it's quite an excellent read. Like, it's full of violence. There's a lot of gore in this one. It's 144 pages, and it retails for $27.99, printed in this big, beautiful format. And this one is definitely not for anybody that can't stomach any violence, because there's a lot of it in here. In the back, there's an interview with the creators, and then some original artwork and sketches. But that is the Shadows of THU. Last but certainly not least is Sapiens Imperium by Sam Timel and Jorge Miguel. This one has a really interesting blurb in the back by Sam Timel. And also this right here. This on the cover, it says, imprisoned by the thousands in the bowels of an uninhabited moon, they have been erased from official history. Cynthia has sworn that one day she will lead her people to the sunlight. So that kind of gives you an idea of what to expect in here. This is another book that is printed in this thick, glossy paper. And it is about this group of people at the, what were they called? The Collect, that have inhabited this particular area where they've been banished to for the last 65 years. So now the descendants of the people that were originally banished here are trying to get out and take back their land. And they're trying to escape, and take over the people that took over their land. And that's what this practically is. This is a huge revenge story. And Cynthia's the one that's kind of leading her people out of these caves. So, interesting story with a couple of twists and turns set in this particular world, or this moon. In the back is something really unique, and that is, instead of concept art, I mean, you do get some concept art, right? But what they do is they add a timeline here, so you get to see the events play out after the story, kind of setting up the story, like how the people were conquered, who exactly conquered them, and when exactly it happened. So it's pretty cool to see that play out through here. In the very back, instead of keeping it as part of the main story through a series of flashbacks. That way, this isn't broken up by all these little timeline things. And I enjoy that about it. 120 pages and retails for $24.99. Now let's talk about how you could win all of these books. And that was the quick overview of each and every one of these books. So, the way to enter is really simple. In the comments down below, as long as, like I said, you are in the US. So yes, anybody in the US can enter, because Humanoids will be shipping you out your books from their own warehouse. All of these books, plus the 5th volume of the Jodorowsky Library. But all you have to do is, in the comments down below, write your favorite Humanoids title. The book that you read, or the book that you love rereading. And if you've never read a Humanoids title, which one of these books would you be most interested in reading? Which one piqued your interest? Which one really tickled your feathers, if you will? I think, do people still say that? I don't know. But anyway, leave those comments down below, and if you're from the US, you can enter. And the other rule is, if you are underage, because some of these books have mature ratings, make sure that your parents are the ones that are entering. I don't want to get no emails from nobody's parents, not the Uncanny Omar. So just keep that in mind. As a reminder, some of these books do have mature themes. Sorry to international viewers, but I do have giveaways on my channel all the time for you all too. So again, thank you to the folks at Humanoids for giving us this opportunity to be a big part of this giveaway. Good luck to everybody. You have until this coming Friday, December 8th, until 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to put a comment down below. One entry, you must be a subscriber, and hit that like button, please. And I will announce the winner on the Saturday live stream. Thank you all so much for watching. Everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Good luck.